We are now beginning our lecture where we left last time. So, when we have asked those questions, is our data complete? If you recall from the previous lecture. So, let's go backward. We had asked these two questions. Is data set complete? Is data set of good quality to do our work? For example, finding out that depth of water over the entire water set. Let's see, looks like my video need to be on. Okay. So once we know that our data has been completed using these few of the method that we discussed, Masker method, method of proportion, or also known as normal ratio method, and the inverse distance or quadrant method. Further the station is, that means it has less effect on the data set of the station where we have missing record. For example, in this case, P is closer to the station P3 and P2 and away from P1. So the distance further they are, so they have less effect through this equation we discussed last time. So today we are saying that our data is complete. Now, is this data of reasonable quality to do our work? So to be able to do that, so we do this something called double mask curve analysis to test the quality of the data set. So how do we do it? So the idea is as follows. So we will go to this uh, sharing with the document camera. So let's say new share, advance, and okay. So what we are talking? We are talking that we have a station here and we want to know whether the data quality is good or not. So what we do, just like common sense, we compare this data against the data set of the surrounding station. Okay, so surrounding station, more the station you have surrounding the station whose quality is being checked. So you have several stations selected, more is better. Then what you do is so for this station we have data set from say year this and the data set. So we have, for variety of years, say year 1990, 1991, and all the way to, let's say, year 2020. Okay, so these are our data sets here. And we are checking the quality of this data set. Okay, so first I will tell you what happens to the quality. So maybe I draw this little diagram here. The rain gauge we have, rain gauge. The rain gauge is located once we decide where is the location going to be of the rain gauge. And then we want to ensure that suppose we look at in the elevation, that was plan view. So idea is that rain gauge is located, and from the center point of this rain gauge, you have to have a clear cone of 45 degree. So 45 degree angle. Sorry, my hand is kind of. So 45 angle here, and you make a cone all around it. So you make a cone all around it. There should be no tree, no building, you know. So when we install these stations, we ensure that the clear cone is there. There are no trees, no building, nothing. But as time progresses, some trees may grow and come over here. So those trees have to be cut down. If they are not being cut down, then the catch area of this rain gauge is being affected. As a result of it, the quality of the data will change because this is a some intrusion happening. Or some building may come, high-rise building may come. We have no choice to other than if they have legitimate right to make this building, then we have no way to remove that building. So we have to remove or we have to relocate our rain gauge to another location. So the data can be affected by the obstruction coming, tree growth or building. And then when we relocate to other location, then the point, the rain gauge has been located to another location. And as a result of that, the data quality will change from previous data to the present location. Sometimes the observer are changed, they retire or something else happen. So consequently, we would run into quality problems. So that's why we check the quality, whether the entire data set is of the same quality, and if it is not, then how to fix it. So that's what we are looking for. So quality of the data throughout the time period has to be same. And once we have ensured that quality thing, then we can say we can deal with this data to compute our uniform depth over the watt cell. So I hope clear that the things can impinge upon the catch area of the rain gauge, vegetation, building, or some other factor. As a result, sometimes we have to we have to relocate, or the observer changes, and every observer has their own thing. Like instead of 9 o'clock, they will be checking on 9:30, although they are set to check on 9 o'clock. But depending, then how they read into the cylinder, the depth you are reading, you must have done in chemistry or something, meniscus of like you pour this water and then read it into the cylinder. So how do you read? Everyone has a different way of reading. So as a consequence of that, data can change. So these are the reasons. So assuming that we have some clarity on it, now we are going back to this point that is our data is the station is we want to check the quality. So what we are doing is we are locating nearby station around it, and then we take the data set of these as combined. So let us say year 1990. So there will be 5 stations around here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you are going to add for year 1990, all the data of the 5 stations will be added and then divide by 5, and then we will have a data. So this will be mean average of these 5 stations against the data recorded in our rain gauge whose quality is being checked. So you have one value here and you have an average value of surrounding station, and then you have the complete data set by doing this. So once we have the data set complete, or have arranged this way, now we are saying the data set of this station versus the combined data set of the surrounding station. That means the average. So how do we do that? So the way to do is we do this double mask curve. So what is double mask curve? We are going to add this data of our station in question. So we are going to add this. So this data will be here. Then this plus this added and different value, then this is added to this, another value, then this is added to this, another value. So you are just cumulating it. Likewise, we cumulate the other one. So I hope it is clear. Then once it is uh, once it is uh, accumulated, both data sets, then you plot it. So normally, a plot can be done either way, but I'm going to only do the way we have done in our notes. So I do not want to change that style. So let me go back to it. So the way we are doing it. So, uh, so the data is being plotted. I just want to see that. So data is, so 5 stations are on the x-axis and the data set whose data set we are checking is on the y-axis. So we are plotting then the data set. So new share. So let's try to do it through this way. If I saw, hmm, no, that thing went away. Okay, so then 5 station data average, 5 station or more average data and which is cumed is in that direction, direction, and the data whose quality is being checked is on the y scale. So that is the station whose quality is in problem, and 5 stations which are surrounding it. Okay. So before we actually do the cumulation, the cumulative data, we need to answer some question. Actually, that's a very important step. I should have mentioned it earlier. Is the data in question is the present data or the past data? You know, the previous data is in problem or the new data is in problem, meaning past data or present data. We must. Then we reorient ourselves or our data accordingly. Past data, as it is given here, 1990, then it will be done in that way. Suppose we say old is good and newer data is in problem, uh, meaning 2020. Then we start the accumulation from the old, which we are saying good. If we say newer data is good because equipment improvement and all other things we can argue, and old data need to be corrected, then we accumulation start from the bottom and we go upward. Or you can reorient your data like 2020 on the top and reverse the direction, depending upon the case. So that is a very important step. So we first answer that question whether the previous data is good and present data need to be corrected, or present data is good and old data need to be corrected if there is a change. So once we have done that and we have the accumulation done, we plot on this graph. And if there was no effect in the data set should be lying on a 45 angle um, line. So that means this station is in line with the collected data of 5 stations, average data of 5 stations. They are perfect straight line. If the data of our station, which is being tested, has a problem, and we have answered that present data is need to be checked or old data need to be checked accordingly, we have accumulated it, then what we will see is when we plot it, data set will break away somewhere, and it may break away in that fashion. It will plot like this, or it may break away to go like this. So if when the data is lying on this line, then it is good quality. When data is going either downward or upward, then that means in here the station is catching more rain, and that's why it is accumulating higher. Or the station, this station, the data is plotting lower. That means it's there is a certain catch problem, meaning the same amount is not happening. It's not like climate change, like something is happening. So overall idea is to bring this dotted data to this line, okay, or this dotted data point to this line. You can use sine, cos, and apply to each of these data point and bring it there. But we will talk about some other simpler method. You can use that method as I just mentioned. Okay. Can somebody say that whatever we are talking is making sense? So maybe let me ask Chris Gisco. Hello, Chris. Chris, Zysko. Chris, can you talk? Okay, you unmuted it, but you are not saying anything. Okay, let's go to Mikhail Pelaya. Michael,
Hello?
hi. Is it going okay?
Yeah, are we going to do an example on this or is this
Yes, we are
yeah?
going to do it, but is it making sense?
Yeah, I think it makes sense.
Why data can be quality can be corrupted by those three reasons, obstruction coming or observer changing or location changing. And then we have
Yeah.
to answer a very important question, that whether the present data is good or the uh, old data is good, and then we make correction accordingly. Okay, so let's go to the example. Thank you. So let's go to the example. So we go back to basic and we go here. Okay, so um, so let us look at this example. So there is a problem statement. So let us just understand the problem first. Annual rainfall annual rainfall station A, or we can say annual rainfall data at station A, and the average annual rainfall of five surrounding stations, as I showed through the document camera, are listed here. So from 1997 all the way to, oh no, okay, no, how do we? Oh yeah, somebody had said that student have problems seeing it. So let's do this way. A little, oh, sorry. Is it? Yeah, this is the biggest. Okay, that is the entire data, year 1997 to 1996, because that is the ending. And what we have is the at station A, this is data in millimeter, and at the surrounding station, which you select, and then five, six more. More means more work, but more is better. And then we average those stations. So they talking collectively versus alone. So if there is if this one is going head to head, then it will plot a 45 angle. If there is a problem, then that problem will be shown in the plot. So that is the data. So, and that is the, let's move this one out of it. So what we have to check the consistency or quality. Consistency is like, maybe I take example on the word itself, consistency. When mom at home makes a chocolate cookie, the dough she prepare, the number of chocolate chips are uniformly distributed, or she is favoring one of his son or daughter where the consistency she put more chips. That means the dough consistency is not uniform. It is biased. There is less or more chips on in one of the portion of the dough. So that's the same idea here. So now the problem is solved based upon the assumption that the recent data is good. Okay, so that is the assumption we made to to check the consistency. So going back to it, data is given from 1997, sorry, 1977 to 1996, and we are saying recent data is of good quality and past data is questionable. So what we do then is we reorient the data. So please note the reorientation done from 1996 to 1997. So we plot that. We rearrange the year, then we rearrange the data itself, and then we cumulate it. Then for the surrounding station was rearranged and cumulation obtained. Okay. Then what we do? We plot it. We will come back to this, but let's plot it. So this plot has a lot of information, but pay no attention. So we are going to look at the 5 stations are plotted on the x-axis, and the station in question is plotted on y-axis. So when you plotted this data and the year are written here, this data belong to 1996, 1995, 1994. It will be helpful, you will notice. And as you go down here, if the data was consistent, then it will be going on this dotted line right there. 45 angle is here. See, this is the 45 angle. Same slope from previous to the present. But the data is plotting there, over there. So the data which is going, some problem in the data is appearing in year 83. From 83 to 82 to 80 and so on and so forth, the data has been corrupted or data has some problem. So we need to bring this data to this line. So each data point 80 need to be brought here, 80 data, the year, the data for year 80, here would be 81 somewhere, and so on and so forth, need to be brought to the straight line. Then it will be consistent. So let me show you in the table first. So in this table, so what we are looking at, we are looking at the, so we want to find the slope, oops, sorry. We want to find the slope of this line. What is the slope of this line? This line is, we have data from here to here. So we can pick the data from anywhere to anywhere and find the slope. Slope is rise over run. So this is like run is here and rise is there. So you just, let's say from 85 down, we read this value, and then we divide by the corresponding value because we are starting at 0. So if we start at 0, then you do not have to take the difference. So rise over run will give you the slope. So that slope is shown here. Slope of the line 1997 to 84. So 1997 to 84. So that is this slope of this line. That slope is 1.22. So how do we do it? So we take the cumulative value of A and we go to the 77, okay, value, and or 78, doesn't matter, whichever you want to take. and because the slope, that slope will be same at 77, will be same at 78. So you take the difference between this value and that. These are cumulative. So 25,000 at 10, what is that? Yeah, 25,010 minus 18,610 will give you this. And then on the x-axis, you do the same, and then you find the slope. So slope is rise over run. So this is our x, this y, and this is our x. So as y over x give you that slope 2.12. So you can obtain from whatever point, whatever point. Okay, so that is the point I wanted to make. As we have found the slope of this line, likewise we can find the slope of this line, which will be the slope of this line. Okay, so same slope. So to find the slope of the original line, see that original line? So we are doing slightly different here, like we are just taking this as our x-axis. These are our change in slope happening. So we are reading off from this point to this, which is reading 88, from this point to this dotted line, which is reading this. So these are the slope coming. So that slope of the original line here is 0.9236, and the slope of this above line here is 1.22. So to make the correction, we are taking the see that the value 8,800. So you are going to inverse it. So what I have written here, maybe I should show that first. If I go, how do we bring it down? I have made some notes that when you have to uh, correct you have to reduce the value, then you make the as smaller slope divided by the larger slope. So you use that ratio, smaller slope versus the larger slope, because we want to make the value smaller. When your line was plotting, underneath here, then you want to increase that one. So then larger slope divided by the smaller slope, the meaning original slope divided by this slope will be smaller because it's more flatter. This slope is greater because it is above that line. So the rule is you want to reduce the value, then small slope divided by the large slope. If you want to increase it, then large slope divided by the small slope. And that gives you the correction. And apply that correction to each of these values to get the corrected value. So for example, going back to the previous data set. So this is our data. Okay, that was our original data. This was our 5-station data. These are our cumulative values. And now this data is corrected. So this data has been corrected. If you see from 1984, so the data was 1760. So that remains same, no change. And then 1400 has been changed to at 1058, we are reducing it. 1240 has been reduced to 937. 1760 has been reduced to 1330. So let's go back to so what we are doing, we are reducing these data. So bringing them to the dotted line. Okay, so let me ask this time maybe Samuel Hinton, please. Hello, Samuel.
Hello.
So is it clear? Need more explanation? Or would you be able to handle it?
I think we're pretty good.
Okay. Now, all right. So the point I also want to make, please take note here. If the difference in slope is not more than 10%, Okay, if this correction required to be less than 10, we actually do not bother to correct it in journal. Suppose you have to correct like 100 of station, it's a lot of work for getting a little like reducing error. But if the slope is more than 10%, then we must apply the correction and correct our data appropriately. But if you have time and you are only doing one station, I would say irrespectively correct it. Okay, so if there are not questions, then I want to move on. You will be given a problem, solving this type of problem for getting better understanding.
I just had a one
Yes,
quick
please.
question.
Yeah.
With the C and the C1, are they measured from the same point on the x-axis, or
Yeah, that would be helpful if you measure it. Otherwise, then you have to then you have to also measure the corresponding x value. So in this case, x is made, see the value on the x-axis from here to there will be same. Then you are going to here, and then you are going to, like you are measuring from this point to up, and then from this point to the dotted line, then x is the same. But if you want to measure elsewhere, like let's say here, then you will be measuring this x distance correspondingly. Remember, slope is rise over run. So the rise you are measuring corresponding value of x is required. If you do at one point, so you are reducing, obtaining the value of x only once because you have two y values. Is that okay? Somebody ask a question? Can
Yeah,
that?
thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. So let us move. Can we move on? Can you say we can move on? Somebody say it, please. It's pretty
Sure.
lonely here.
Good.
Okay, thank you. Okay, I do not want to go over stuff if it is not clear. That's not my way of teaching. What happened here? Why we went out? Oh, there's a there's a slide which I did not notice. I did no thing. Nothing there. So now what I'm making a note here is assuming that the data, I can actually annotate and I can pick this stuff. What? This one. Then it will be more clear. And how do we move this guy out of the way? Okay, so if the data is satisfactorily consistent, that means our data is complete, our data is of good quality by doing this double mask curve or called consistency test. Then and only then you can proceed to find the depth of rainfall over the watershed. That's very important. That then and only then. Okay. If there's a quality problem with this annotate stuff, this is if you use it, then it doesn't let you come out of it. So you have to kind of, now you can move to the next slide. And then you have to go back to annotate if you want to see this burning candle kind of thing. So the first method, how do we get rid of the elsewhere? Where else? They are necessary evil. And we do this out of the way. And we do this. And then I lose my pointer. Okay. Well, I think we have to live with one or the other. The first method is called arithmetic method or station average method. Okay, so what we do is we take a watershed. So I like to go to the advanced one, so I can use my. Now what? This is kind of silly. Advance, please. Share, please. Are we already in this? No, maybe somebody said do stop sharing and then go to this and then go to advanced and then share. Oh, I have no idea. Oh, now I lost my. Anybody want to say a word to me? How we can, why this thing is not showing anymore?
What are you trying to accomplish?
I was trying to use my document camera. Now document camera is showing the screen, which I don't want. I want to have this one. I do not want to have that. That's my advance here. That is my document camera. And then we go here. There. This is somewhat difficult. Okay. So so now we are saying our data is complete and our data is of good quality. Okay. So you have made correction, amendment, and data is dependable, and the data is complete. Completeness is very important. Maybe I share with you one little example I have shared over the student over the year. Someday you will be the guy who will be hiring people. Believe me. At this time, it may look silly for me to say that, but believe me, there will be time that you will be in the hiring person in your company. And there is a candidate who comes, you have looked at the resume of this person, very good resume, like the person you want to hire. But in the resume, there is a hole, 2 year of gap. And the candidate says, sir, you cannot ask me about this 2 year gap. I simply cannot tell you anything. So the question I'm telling you or asking you is, would you hire this person or would you not hire this person? So this is a clear case. He has an impeccable resume, but 2 year of gap information is not there. So he's a good guy. He has good academic thing. Everything is good, but 2 year information is missing. And he simply says, do not ask me any question. The question is to you, would you hire this person? Anybody?
I feel pretty bad for him, but I'd have to say no since they can't give me any information.
Absolutely. This guy could be or gal could be in jail for that 2 year and screwed something that he may screw your company too. So therefore, the missing data, that's where the missing data concept comes. If you have missing data in your data set, you simply cannot ever find the mean value because very important information is missing. So we shouldn't touch such data. Thank you for answering that. So what we are saying is data is complete, no hole in the data set, and data is of quality. Now what we do? So the first rule of the game is we have this water set and we have some station. And you simply take the rain recorded at the station. Okay. So you have, let's say, 5 stations. So you are going to say the precipitation over this water set or EUD value for this rainstorm is sum of PI 1 to 5 and divide by 5. Only in this case is you take the data inside only. You do not take the rain data available outside the boundary. You do not take that because you are using very simple method. You just sum them, divide by that number, and you got your equivalent uniform depth. So no effort, relatively no effort, simple method to use, but only inside station are taken. You do not take any station outside, even though it is within inches of boundary, the way the data method is said, we cannot use that outside station. Only inside station are taken. So that's one method. So the second method is, and I must say other thing, this data, this watershed must be also in a relatively flatter ground, like prairie, like flat area. No rolling hill, no hilly area. So no hills and no rolling hill type land, relatively flat land. Then and only then you can use average method, okay? Because the rain types of storm happening here will be not affected by orographic thing. So therefore we can use a simple method, quick method, and get the equivalent depth. If this watershed has rolling hill, so maybe I should point out one more thing. So we are assigning, when you divide 1/5, like 5 stations, then we are saying each station on the average is covering 1/5 of the watershed. See that? 1/5 of the watershed. These are like short of uniform because 1/5 is uniform factor you are using. That means area coverage is approximately uniform, which may not be true. But for flatter ground or watershed, this method is fine and cause no serious problem in our estimation. So you can use it. But if it is a rolling land, then we have to do something else. So what we call polygon method. So polygon, okay, polygon method. Or there was a guy who gave this method called Thiessen. So some people call it Thiessen method, some people call it Thiessen polygon method, some people call it polygon method. So meaning same. But the land is not uniform. Land is not flat, relatively flat. So, so the land is maybe rolling hill. Then idea is you have this watershed, and you can take station, rain gauge station inside, and rain gauge station outside. Okay, wherever they are available. So once you have all these stations, okay, maybe I can go this way. It is same thing. So we have this watershed, please, this watershed. Some stations are outside, some stations are inside. So we have to develop polygon. How do you develop polygon? Polygons are developed by interconnecting these stations. All of them are interconnected. Over there, over here, over there, over there, over there, you see? And then you take bisect of each line. So bisect of this line, bisect of this line, bisect of this line. So when you do that, so you have a polygon came here. See that polygon? Because, okay. Then likewise, we can so this was our station right here. So this is the bisect. Then there is a bisect here, there is a bisect here. So then you have to extend this bisect and kind of connect them. They may not connect right there. So draw this polygon. So there will be a bifactor coming here. Then there will be a bisector coming here, will be coming here, will be coming here. So you truthfully connect them. Okay, that's the idea. So wherever they connect, you truthfully extend them and connect them. So what I have here, so I have, this is the boundary of the watershed. So there is a area which belong to this rain gauge. So whatever is the depth of rain belong to this portion of the land. Then this is a polygon, part of the polygon if you want to see. That polygon, part of the polygon is here. And that is the rain we recorded. Oh, sorry, I went a little bit silly. Polygon is here, over here, because the boundary has to be respected. You cannot go outside the boundary, okay? So there, and then for this station, so we have to extend it like this, unfortunately. So there is the polygon here, and that is the station covering. For this station, that sliver of the watershed is covered by this. For this rain gauge, that is the polygon created. So this polygon right here. You see? So it's a pretty involved process. So what you do first is connect all these stations and then take bisector of them and then extend this bisector to get the picture of the polygon. Then what you do? You have the rain, so precipitation 1 time area 1 plus, let's call it 1, let's call it 2, let's call it 3, let's call it 4, let's call it 5, let's call it 6. So then we do the same. So P2, I will do just 2, P2, and then plus, and then P6, area 6. And then divide by the A1 plus A2 plus A3 plus A6. And then whatever precipitation you got is the equivalent uniform depth over the watershed. Is that clear? So that is what happens. So the polygon method is for rolling hill, it's not flatter ground, and we take station inside and outside, and we try not to connect station too far away, then acute angle will happening between the two lines. So then we avoid those scenario where acute angle form, very little angle, acute means very small. That means station is too far away for including in the watershed. And then you create this polygon. And then area of each polygon, like area of A3 will be this entire area. So then you do this computation and you get your equivalent uniform depth. How do you find these area, irregular areas? You use planimeter or you use your AutoCAD. You go on the boundary, like for example this. So we start here clockwise. So we go on the boundary, and then go on the watershed divide and come back, and that will be the area. Okay. Area can be in anything. You can have them in kilometer, inch square, doesn't matter because you are multiplying and you are dividing by the same. So that will cancel out. So you don't have to worry about it. So I put in the denominator A1 plus A2 plus A6. Otherwise, it is equal to the area of the watershed. See, capital A, area of the watershed. Why I did that? Sometime they never meet. Like given watershed area is, let's say 500 kilometers square, and then individually when we added, it is 498. So 2 kilometer, then you have to make correction. So I would not make correction. I will just use whatever area I had, A1, A2, A3, then divide by A1 so that they will cancel out. All right. So what is the problem with this method? This problem with this method is, like you made this effort, went to your supervisor, and he say, oh, I'm really sorry. You had to include this another station here or whatever. So once another station is included, whole thing has to be start from ground zero. Whole work has to be done. Or you go to your supervisor and he says, no, we never include this one, it's too far away. That means you have to redo the whole thing. So that's the drawback of the system. So once a station is included or deleted, a whole polygons have to be redrawn one more. Okay. Any question, please? So let's look at the slide. So I'm looking for somebody say something. Maybe Sina Break can say something. Sina, you are there?
Yeah, I think we get it.
It's okay?
Yeah. Is there a procedure of this in the text that we can look at, or?
Yeah, textbook has this polygon method.
Great.
Okay, thank you. Or you can nowadays Google Master is there. You say polygon method, and you might see so many web or what is that called? Um, you have those PDF available on the some kind of video is there. You can review. There is a lot of stuff available. Okay, now let's go back to the basic, and I want to be here. I want to share this one. Okay, so we did this, and now, so that's the simple method. What I said, inside station are considered. So you just add the precipitation, divide by 3, and you are done. Limitation is station must be uniformly distributed, and land has to be flat. I have to say it's not written here, but it must be flat. Okay. Number 2, Thyssian polygon method or polygon method. So in this example shown is very simple, like station 1 here, 2 there, 3rd there. You connect them, bisect them, and in this case, no effort required very quickly. Believe me, sometimes it may not make such a nice angle. They may not head on to one point. This line may bisect right there. So don't worry, you do truthfully. Don't try to beautify this stuff. Whatever comes, however it looks, that is the way, because that is the way they will be marked based upon the solution provided to the marker. Okay. So the procedure is written here. Draw the line. Where is it? Okay. Maybe annotate. And this guy. So draw the line to the adjacent gauge station. Draw the perpendicular bisector. So they have to be bisect means perpendicular. Extend the line created in step 2 so that they connect, and compute the respective area and make the computation. See, here he writes A. But I would say when you have found your area, then they may not add to the area. Like as I said, if the area was 500 kilometers square, you are adding only 498. Okay, so that means you have to make some correction. Or I would simply say A1 P1 plus A2 P2 plus A3 P3 and divide by A1 plus A2 plus A3. So then you multiplied up in the numerator, which was area was equivalent to 498, and you divide by the same. Okay, so please do that rather than taking a shortcut. Okay, and then very important, station inside and outside can be taken, although this is a simplified example showing you the, oh yeah, then it doesn't let me do that. Now I can go down. Okay, so this gives you a little bit more into it, like acute angle I was talking about and so on and so forth. And it is still not suitable for hilly station, only rolling hill. Flat ground, you do not want to waste time drawing polygon because it's a lot of laborious work. You do the simple arithmetic. And if it is rolling hill, then use this method. Okay. Then we go to, this is just an example shown. So we have, this is a watershed area given, and these are the stations, like where record is 0.65, 1.46, 1.54. That means he's not going like, you can go this way or you can follow some system. So he's going 0.65, 1.46, 1.92, then he's going 2.69, then going 1.54, then going 2.98, then going 5, then going 4.5. And what about these ones? He cannot ignore them, but he seems to have ignored this station. Oh, this station, there is no area involved. See, the bisector are outside, so that is excluded. And he has excluded 1.75 as well. Oh, then he has not drawn any bisect, so there is no area associated to that one. So therefore, they are not included. So the area found is these areas, respective area. You don't waste time calculating percentage of area. Then you take the precipitation time area, okay, and then divide by the like precipitation area multiplied plus precipitation area multiplied and so on and so forth, divide by the total area, and then you will get the average estimate 2.84. So that's the estimate for this storm, for this watershed, over this watershed area. Our estimate is 2.83 of inches happen over this area. Please do not waste time computing percentage area. That's waste of time. Okay, so now we are going to another method called isohetal method. So I'm going back to the share screen, going to advanced and going to this guy. Okay, so let's start with a fresh page. Okay, so what we have, isohetal method. First of all, hetal or height word is for rain in Greek. So iso means same, height, line. Okay, so mean contour line of same water depth or rainfall depth. So this method is applicable or very much recommended for hilly areas because orographic effect in hilly areas are too great to be compensated for arithmetic or polygon method. So they are serious. So that means we need to develop the isohetal line within the area. So let's say we have this area, okay, and then you have these stations where we have some rain, but more important, I must point out outside station, inside station, all can be taken. But very important point to note is that we know this watershed is located in hills. It's not in rolling hills, it's in hills. So therefore, only method you can use is isohetal method. If you do not use isohetal method, your effort is useless. It's waste of time and waste of effort. So do not do it. Make sure what is the terrain where your watershed is located. Then what we do, so if we take some data, let's say 5 inches, lot of rain, or 5 centimeters. So I'm assuming a storm is coming either direction, doesn't matter. So we have to have some data here. So maybe 4 inches, maybe 3 inches, and this is 4 inches, and that's 4 inches, 2, 2, and 1.5 inches, 1.5 inches, and 3. Okay. So first you take the what is the highest range. So you have 5, and take the lowest. You have, let's change it to 1, 1.5. Okay, 1. So 1 inch. So the range of values is 4. Instead, you must have read range. So range is 4. So that means from highest to lowest variation is within 4 inches. So you can make contour line or isohetal line, 4 isohetal line, or you can make 8, like twice of that, or 3 times of that, 12. So more isohetal line you make, more better estimate you get. But more work is to be done. So that's the only problem. Less work you do, less dependable your estimate is, error will be more. So I'm just going to show you, let's say the case of 4. Usually the rule is you must have, like, I'm sure you have done some stat somewhere and somebody must have told, if you are finding the mean value, how many data point you need. Can some students speak to this question I'm raising? To find the mean value of a data set, how many data set you need? Anybody? Come on.
The number of stations?
No, like we are finding the average. We are computing the average of a data set. So how many data point you need? 1, 1,000, 100, 20, 15. How many data points?
More than one?
Very true. More than one, but that is not sufficient. So the boundary line is like 30. Okay, but that's too much work. So in hydrology, we recommend if you have data point around 10, you are in good situation. So less than 10, your error start increasing much more than you can handle. And more data point you have, your work effort increases much more that you cannot afford. So that's where the boundary is. So in this case, when I'm drawing 4 isohetal line, that means I'm only getting 4 data. You got that? So we should attempt to do 8 or 12. So then you get that many data points. So let me just try to show you in a second. So how do I get, so my contour line will be 4, 3, 2, 2, and 1. So this is the range, within that range. So 4, 3, 2, 1. You can even say 5, doesn't matter. So 4, so where is the 4? I see a data point 4 here. And if I connect, I cannot connect any data point here. I can connect this data point through here. See? And I say, where is point 4? So there has to be, like, this line starts at 2 and goes to 5. So it must have 4 somewhere. It must have 3 somewhere, right? So we can divide this line and divide it. So the difference is 3. So we divide it into 3 parts. So that will be 4 right there. That will be 3 right there. So 4. So this is 4. So 4, 4, and 4. See, this is the short of line coming, contour line. Got it? And 3. So there is a 3 already. There is a 3 we found. When we connect 2 and 4, in the middle will be 3. If we connect this 4 and 2, middle will be 3. So now we have many data points. So we have, what was that point? Oh, no, this was 3. The way we divided it up. So now you have like 3, 3, 3, 3, and then you can draw another contour line. And then we have 2. So you can argue here, when I connect 1, 2, 4, so there are 3. So like 2, 3, and 4 like equidistant. So 2 will start here, this line, and then go here, and then come down. 1 will be going something like this. And try to follow the pattern like parallel to this line, short of So now we have the contour line of 1, contour line of 2, isohetal line of 3, isohetal line of 4. Okay. Now how do we do it? So we have area here. See this area. Then I will show you the next area within the boundary, and then I will show you the next area. And this leftover area in between are also area. So now you have this area, then that area, this area, that area, and that area. Now this is your sweet will, how you want to assign. You can say this area is covered by 5 inches of rain. Then is you set the logic, then this area, white area here will be covered by 4 inches of rain. Then this one will be covered by 3 inches of rain. Then that will be covered by 2 inches of rain. And that will be covered by 1 inches of rain. Somebody may say, I am not doing that. You may say, okay, there is a line somewhere here, of some other will be really 0. So this watershed is no rain. And then this area has 1 inch, and then next area has 2 inch, and then next area has 3 inch, and then other area has 4 inch. So you must do one way. Either you go from this direction or you go from this direction. If you follow consistently all the time, error will be minimized. But if you change, like you are doing 100 watershed and you did 40 of them going this way, rule your rule, and 60 of them going this way, then you cause the problem. So all watershed must be done in one way. There will be error, but that will be consistent error and doesn't matter. So, but if you haphazardly do it, then we have much more error. Are there questions on this method, please? First of all, how to draw the isohetal line. I just showed you 1, 2, 3, 4 line we drew. We can make more line. I can go here 1.5 inches in between. See, approximately. Then I can draw approximately. I can draw approximately. And then draw approximately. So then that will be 1, 1.5, 2.5, 3.5, 4.5. Okay, so that way you increase the isohetal line. Now, some people argue differently, going this way or going this way. They say, well, let's do this way. So I'm going to draw a simple case. So let's say we have a contour line of 5. We have a contour line of 4. We did some work and found it. And then they say, well, it's hard to say which way we go. This area here is covered by 4.5 inch of rain. You apply half of it. Then you come here, this area is covered by, in the middle, 3.5 inches of water. Then this portion of the watershed, so somewhere there will be a line of 2 inch. So then this will be covered by 2.5 inches of. So this one. Likewise, somewhere will be 6, and then this portion will be covered by 5.5 inches of rain. So I have, oh, did you see this one? No, you didn't see. Nobody even said it, anything. Come on. I waste all my time here. So you do this watershed, you draw this isohetal line, and then interpolate in between the successive isohetal line. And the area is now said to be associated by between these two isohetal lines is a imaginary line of 4.5. That means the watershed, this portion of the watershed receive 4.5 inches of water. Likewise, this portion is received 3.5 inches. Likewise, this portion here receive 2.5 inches between that. Then same way, this portion of the watt set receive 5.5 inches between. So we interpolate between the two successive lines. So you have now three methods for that. Like I gave you, going up, going down, coming down, or interpolate in between. So you can um, estimate the EUD. Any question, please? Let me see the time here. 2:11, so we have good time. So any question, anybody, please? Mohammed? Mohammed, are you there? Mohammed, this guy. Mohammed, can you unmute? No. Mohammed is sign on, not here. Who else can be? We can ask. Eric, Visrama, are you there?
Yeah,
So any question, please?
no, it's all good.
All good? All
Yeah.
right, let's move on. Thank you. So we are going back to the basic. And where is my nice one? Okay, there are too many. Okay, so arithmetic we did, polygon we did, and then we did the a procedure we showed, we went through this. So this is the isoidal. So you draw the isoidal, and then you have three methods: going this direction, going that direction, or averaging in between. So in this case, area A1 is associated with P1. P1 is area A1, P1. Oh, that was the original data. So, but I'm trying to see example. I don't see. Okay. So he is assigned, where is it? He will assign 10. Okay, he's going between the line, please. So in this case, so let's go this guy. And let's go this guy. So he is taking this area and assigning a value, half values. Remember, 10 and middle, 5. And then area this, and he's assigning the between 10 and 20 is 15. So that's what he's assigning. Then for this area, he's assigning 20, and in between will be 25. And then this one area is assigning 30, and there will be a line of 40 somewhere, and half of that is 35. So that's the way this particular example is shown. Okay, so you are basically finding the mean value. As I said, if I were you, I will take the precipitation isoidal line precipitation value times the area A1, average precipitation value times area 2, average precipitation area 3, and then I will add A1 plus A2 plus A3 plus A4, so that there is no error. Because if you just say A, that can lead to some kind of error, because area, we never get same area because we are using planimeter. There will be error, inherent error. So best thing is you do your best, find area 2, find area 3 to the best of your ability, find area 4. And when you add them, they will never be the value given for the watt set. So it will be approximately that. So to avoid that correction to be made to the area, I would simply say use your area and then divide by the sum of your area and not the area given. Okay? All right. Now what? Oh yeah, this guy unnoted. We have to get out. Where is the get out area here? And oh, not end meeting. Cancel. It is not letting me go. Okay, there we go. So this is another example done. So in this example, remember we used it for polygon method, if you recall it. Where is our see this one right here? We use it for polygon. Now we are doing by isohetal method, and our estimate is coming to be okay. They are perhaps by the isohetal method, doing by the isohetal method. So the areas between these lines and the procedure followed, our estimate is 2.61, okay, by isohetal method. Then, if you recall, we found area for the same watershed, and our estimate was 2.83. So my question to you is, which one is correct method? So this is by using the isohetal method, same data, our estimate is 2.61. Using the polygon method, our estimate is 2.83. So which one is correct? Which one we should take, 2.61 or 2.83? Which is the correct value of the average precipitation over this area? Anybody? So let us ask randomly so that we Usman Asik. Hello, Usman. Usman, you are there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, so which one is correct method? Have you been listening?
Yeah.
Okay, so which one do you think is a better estimate, 2.61 or 2.83?
2.83.
No, let me just point out that is don't worry. I mean, please remember the method is based upon the terrain of your watershed. So you must match the method to the terrain of your watershed. If this watershed was in hilly area, then estimate of 2.83 is correct. If this watershed is not in hilly area, then, and if it was in rolling hill, then 2.61 is correct. Okay, so it depends upon the terrain of the watershed, not the method. Is that clear?
Yeah.
Okay, good. So please remember that. Okay, so let's move on. Okay, so so far what we have done is learning. There are three kinds of storm known as convective storm, orographic storm, and frontal storm. And then the landform is there, like flat land, rolling land, hilly land. And then these methods are there, uniform method or arithmetic method, then polygon method, and then the isohetal method. So you must match the method to the terrain. Please remember that. Okay. So now, for doing our work, there are already some storms are given by the government. So, like, suppose we are working in northern Ontario. Then there is something called Timmins storm. So if you are designing peak flow, you must design for Timmins storm. You cannot use any other storm because such a storm can happen. And therefore, if you are designing like your culvert or your bridge for 100 year or more or 50 year or more, you are bounded by law to use Timmins storm on the books. Then if you are designing something in southern Ontario, then you are bounded by law to use the Hurricane Hazel. Hurricane Hazel is the worst hurricane rainstorm happened in southern Ontario. So the important structure like bridges and major culvert have to be designed for that storm and whatever peak flow you will get. Then the Soil Conservation Service in United States has provided variety of storm like 12-hour storm. So they have a SCS standard method, 12-hour storm, 24-hour storm, and things like that. So what are they? So like Timmins storm, so first let's pay attention to the Timmins storm. So Timmins storm is 12-hour storm for northern Ontario, and the rain amount, total rain amount happened was 19.2 centimeter or 19.2 centimeter. How much is that? That is 19.2 divided by 2.4. That is 7.6 inches of rain, meaning more than half foot of water running over land kind of thing, lot of rain. Okay, so very much, very heavy storm. But this storm have some, like suppose your watershed area is smaller, then they are for larger because area of coverage by the storm was large, but your watershed is small. So you have to learn to apply a factor. So need to apply a area reduction factor. For example, area 100, then the factor is 0.9. That means if the area of your watershed is 100 kilometers square, then your watershed will not receive 192.1 as on the book, but only 90% of it, which is 172 or 173 millimeter of rain. So you have to learn to appropriate correction factor need to be applied. So this is Hurricane Hazel. 73 millimeter of rain happened in the first 36 hours. It was a long storm. And then for subsequent hours, 37, 38, 39, on and on, up to 48th hour. That means 2 days and 2 nights. Okay, so long storm. And for successive hour, that much rain was happening. You can see. So this is the Hurricane Hazel for southern Ontario. And then the area of coverage for these ones are like 26 to 45 kilometer area. If there was that area of your watershed, 26 greater than 26 or greater than 26, but equal to 45, then you must reduce that amount by 99.2%. And likewise, these factors are given all the way to like, if the watershed area is 6,001 kilometers square and 7,000, then the effect is only about like half, like or 60%. So area reduction must be applied. So what is PMP? We were talking about PMP and PMF. Let me see why my... we have a couple of minutes and then I will let you go. Or we will start PMP when you come next time. So let's not overtax you. That is enough for today. We have time is 2:25 and that is plenty.